everyone, it's Pam here with Tattered Paper and Lace, and you can see on my desk I have a project. So today I wanted to just come on while I was making something and have you come along and join me if you would like. What I'm going to be doing is making washi tape from napkins, scraps, and tissue paper, like gift wrap tissue paper. So join me and we'll make some washi tape. Now I am sure, let's get all this out of the way, I'm sure that others probably have done this. I didn't go back to look and see, but I feel pretty confident that I have. So we're going to use some scraps. Here is some that I've already made. This is from napkin. One is from this napkin. And that are these, of course. And then one is from this napkin. And that is these. So let's get to making. And also I made a wider one. Here, that's from this napkin. So let me tell you how we're going to do this. You need some double-sided tape, napkins, tissue paper, scraps, whatever. And we are going to, here's one that's just with scraps, and I added some other washi that I had on top just for some more interest. We'll make one of those as well, or at least the base for it. And I'm going to be using these napkins and these tissues. Just this part of this tissue, this wrapping tissue. So that is my plan. We'll make a few. Here are some that I made from this tissue. I just made them be little short pieces, and they can just pop onto another project, onto a tag, or onto your strip of your scraps. You can also add these to that. And they will, when you peel them off, they will be as transparent as the tissue or paper that you're using it on. So you'll be able to see through that when you put that down. I don't want to put it on that just because I don't want it to have that, but we will make something hopefully and get some of those things popped on and let you see how that looks. So again, let me clear my desk. Put all this on the floor. And let's see what we can come up with. First, I'd like to make one that is like this. I'm going to bring you down just a little bit. Okay, and so first I'd like to make one like this. And this is made with scraps. So I'm going to pull my scraps in. And my scissors, I'll need those. And then I have several widths of double-sided tape. You do not have to have all of these sizes. I just happen to have them because I used to make mini albums, and that's what I mostly constructed them with. So I have lots of widths. The one I will use for the napkins is just this ½ inch, which is about what all washi tapes are. For this one, I used my 1½ inch, and that is also the one I will use the most because the size of it is good for this. And to make this, I take my double-sided tape and I stretch it out. I'll leave this one in the frame so you can see what that looks like too. I take it and I stretch it out like this. I have a book weight that I lay in the center of the roll, and it is standing up like this, and I lay this in the center of it so that it doesn't roll. You could also use your scissors instead to lay in the center of that. And then I just stretch it out for a length, however long. I mean, you can just keep adding and adding and adding. I also have my smoother in case I need it. But I will just take bits of paper. I don't want Christmas. Let's do these maps right here. So I just take out the bits of paper that I have in this little box, and I just start laying it down. Just lay it down to the edge. If it's got a squared off edge, I use that. Let's see, I had a couple pieces right here I wanted to use that were in that box and made their way out of that box. So I will overlap, and I will go back after I've overlapped something, and I will then use my glue to glue down any of the areas that need gluing down. It's like making a master board, but you're using tape, double-sided tape. And then when you're done, like this one, when you're done, you'll be able to peel off the backing just like you would any double-sided tape. Peel the backing off, and then you can stick it wherever you want to. You can cut it up into pieces and do whatever you will with it. And it just makes for a nice, easy, use up your scraps kind of thing, and you can color coordinate. So if you had something in, you know, specific that you wanted it to look like color-wise, you just add, you just do whatever. Like this is a piece of paper from a catalog of I believe it is a gardening catalog where you order plants. And if you want to just make them neutral, you just make them neutral. If you want to have just writing, you just get old book pages and you do just writing. It's just whatever suits your fancy, whatever is going to match what you want to do, how you want to do it. Some tissue paper here. Let's do some pattern paper here. I'll do this on the edge, just like I did on the other one. Like that, and I've got a little bitty piece right there that needs a little something on it, so let's put a little something on it. Right there, just like that. Now I'll have to go back, and I'll have to glue edges that are not, you know, placed down, and I might have to go through and also put some additional things, you know, if like I've got more color and I don't have any color right here, so I may want to go back and put a piece of color in there, and I may not. You know, it's just whatever suits your fancy, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. Let's see, I will use that piece. Let's see what else I have in here. Oh yeah, I might use that. Oh, I like this green piece. I'll use that right here. That's gonna work. Put it like this. Get to the edge. I like to do straight pieces when I can to the edge, and then I'm going to tear that off. Okay, and then I can use that a little later. See what else I have in here. I don't have as much in here as I did because I used a lot of it that I had in here. And a lot of it that's in here is plain paper. And I don't really want to use just plain paper. So let me then put this here. Maybe this needs to go here. Like this. You know, just kind of look at what you got going on and see what else you can put. See what else looks good. I like this little piece right here. We're gonna stick this right like that. So it looks like it is continuing this little bit. It's like that. I like the little grunge that's on that. Here is, let's see, let's get these out and see what we have. Okay. I like this. It says metals. I'm going to put that right here. Some of this is Christmas stuff, and I don't want to use Christmas stuff on this. Here's some lined paper. Let's put a little bit of lined paper on here. I won't do this whole piece, I don't think. Like I said, I try to get to the edge, but you know, also you can cut, you know, the edges if you don't want it to be edged. I mean, if you want it to be straight edges, you can cut the edges. Here's a little piece of black. Let's try that. This is a little heavier, so I was trying to steer away from that because it's heavier, but I'll try it. Now this will be more like a masking tape when you get done with this, because it is solid paper. It's not, here's a little Japanese writing. Let's try that right in there. String. So it, little Japanese paper here. And I'll put a, what else do I want? And I'm gonna wrap it up here. So I'm gonna cut it off right here. And that will be this one. We can use this little piece of green down here like that. Let's see, I'll tear that off a bit. Put it right here. Put a little piece of, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this because it's barely just a little bit of the tape showing to color that. Let's do it on this side. Sorry, not in frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this little piece down because it didn't have much. And I'm going to cut this off here because I didn't have anything I wanted to put on that part. Okay, here we have some washi, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you really call this washi since it's, and I'm just going to trim off the edges because I want to. You wouldn't have to if you didn't want to. And then I'm going to clean up these paper crumbs. Move those over to the side. Let's cut off this other side. Oh, let me maybe put my glue top back on. You know how that does. So this is like making a master board on double-sided tape. And then you have something you can make a belly band with. If you want to make a belly band, you just peel off the backing and put it on a piece of cardboard of the same width and height that you want. And use it that way. Or if you just want to glue it down, you know, straight down, you just glue it straight down. You just do that, and there you have it. So now I go back and I will need to add some glue. This is very brittle paper right here. I will need to add some glue under the edges of these edges that will come up because you're overlapped of, you know, over the sticky, over one places that are not sticky. So you have to put glue on those places. But this, it's not that many. It's surprising really how few that you really have. You have to glue. Just little ends like this is really all you have to glue. That don't make it onto the actual tape. But this is just kind of a fun way to use up scraps, and it's an easy way to use up scraps. Okay, this one I'm going to tear off a little bit because I don't need all of that. Yeah. That needs a little bit under it. Not much. That's a little heavier piece too, a little heavier than I like to use. The thinner paper is better. I use this piece, which is a little bit cardstock, and that's sort of cardstock. And that's a little bit too heavy in my opinion. So let me get these scraps back out of the way. And this one would have been a good something to put on here too. And so you can go back and layer it up, put some other stuff on it. Let's do that. I want to put that on here. So I can go back and layer this up right there to give it a little more interest. And you'll have to glue, obviously we'll have to glue these pieces on. Then you can go back and you can do focal points if you want to. So I'll lay that there. All right, so that is my washi tape. That is made with scraps. So I have one neutral and one with color. And that was simple and easy. Put all these pieces back and get this put away. On to the next thing. Now, I also have this piece of vellum that came off packaging. So I probably will use that as well on one. Maybe. We'll see. Hadn't decided yet. But so this is this one's 15 inches, and so this one's probably about 12 or 13 inches. And let me pull you back up just a little bit. Maybe you can see a little better. So we have a neutral one, and we have a more colorful one. Simple, quick, easy. You see how quick that was, and it's always quicker when you're not in front of the camera. So that's going to be a quick and easy thing to do. Now, that is what you can do with your scraps. You can also do this with the narrower tape. I find it easier to do it with this 1.5 inch tape. And, you know, you can just do a master board too if you want. But I have the tape, and I don't use double-sided tape as much anymore. So I thought, well, let me just try that. To me, that's easier than having to glue everything. So if I'm going to use it in a tape form, or, you know, that kind of thing. Now, the next thing I think is even way cooler. That's a good way to use up scraps. But if you're anything like me, you have tons of napkins. I have tons of napkins. More than any one person ever needs. If there's a paper napkin shortage, you can come to me. I have plenty. So I'm going to also make washi tape from a napkin, and I'm going to use the 1/2 inch tape. And what I do is I turn it upside down. It's no need to smooth it out or anything. And on some napkins, you probably can see on this side, it has that embossing that's around the edge. Most napkins have that. That's okay. I don't care. I'm going to use it anyway. So I just take I turn the napkin upside down. I take my 1/4 inch, excuse me, you can use a 1/4 inch tape if you have it. I have some, but I'm going to use the 1/2 inch. I use the 1/2 inch tape, and I just place it right along the edge of the napkin. It goes on smooth. If it did wrinkle, I don't care, because that just gives it more texture. And I just tear that off, and I'll put me another strip. And tear that off. And I'll do one more. And you could do the whole napkin this way. And then you would have all these nice strips of washi. And if you have a lot of napkins like I do, now I like to use the ones that are an all-over pattern like this, rather than one that it isn't that. just because it will look more like washi and it won't have a lot of blank spaces. So the napkins that are all over design, and I really have a hard time using those in, you know, unless you're making a tag and that's the background or whatever. But these brightly colored ones, and these were gifted to me. I don't tend to use them for decoupage for some reason. These are brighter colors than I normally might use, but I certainly would use it as, you know, in a situation where I just wanted some bits of color like you would washi. So these are perfect for me to use as washi, and this is a quick and easy way, so much easier than decoupaging if you wanted to make washi, because it just turns out so beautifully. Let's see if I can get the lighting a little better. Maybe that will help. I don't really know if it will or not. So that is how you make washi. So I just cut each strip out, and it wants to bow a little bit. I just kind of rub my finger along it so that it straightens out a little bit more. And then you've got washi. You have instant washi. And it's, there's some cost, of course, to the double-sided tape, but you get a lot on a roll. So when I buy a roll of washi, it takes me forever to use up a roll of washi. Now I buy it, and I use it when I use it, but it takes me forever because I don't use it that much. So this just came to me. I don't know why, but the idea of using this to make washi, especially because I don't do floral very much. So the idea of using a napkin and not having to buy a whole roll of washi just for a little bit. So you might even consider doing Christmas napkins in that way, because you don't need a whole lot of washi. Now I've reused I use it over and over, and I have rolls that I've for years been making Christmas journals with. So we just trim them out. Doesn't take, as you can see, it doesn't take any time to trim it off. My scissors almost, if I cleaned them off, they probably would. They almost glide through the napkin without even having to scissor it. And so it's very easy to do. Follow along right along the edge of the tape. And there is your washi. So, like I did this one from this napkin right here. And I did it, I did this one a little bit differently. Well, I actually laid the napkin over the tape, and this is the 2-inch, let's see how wide this one is, 2.5-inch tape, because this strip on the napkin was that wide, and I wanted to do this whole strip. So that's the reason I did that wide. I probably would not do most of them that wide, because for one, I don't know that I would use that just by itself on a page or not, but it still is easy to use if you wanted to. It also would be cute to cut it off here, and you can do a label or some other whatever, stamping or whatever, script stamps or whatever, and then just apply it to a page. You can do that. I mean, there's just things you can do that I think would be cool. So I made these green ones out of a green napkin, obviously. Where it is, I don't know where it is. You also could use wrapping paper. I made this. This was a Dollar Tree napkin, and I made these out of a napkin. So that is another way to use double-sided tape to make washi. is with a napkin. So if we've used scraps, a napkin, and now I want to use tissue. So I have this wrapping tissue, and I have this wrapping tissue, and then I have a tissue that would be thrown away because this was tissue that was wrapped around a commercial roll of toilet paper. So I'm going to do that one first because I want to see how it does. I don't know how well this will show up. I'm going to do it the same way. Again, I don't care if it is wrinkled. We'll straighten it out a little bit, but I'm not overly concerned about that. I don't really care if it is. I'm going to start up here because this has writing right here. So I will start up here, and I am going to just follow along this edge right there. If you don't get it on there straight, that don't matter either. And then I'll just chop it off right there because it doesn't have any pattern down here. And that's what you're going to have. There's those little circles on it, which I think is pretty cool. I have no washi tape that looks like that. This is a very neutral washi tape, and that's okay. The nice thing about using tissue and napkins is because however transparent, whatever you're using on as your decorative piece, however transparent it is how transparent it will be with the tape on it, because the tape is just a transparent tape. Double-sided, yes, but it's just, you know, you peel it off and it's going to be whatever the pattern the paper is. Now, see, I didn't put that last one on there straight, but I don't think that's going to really matter. And we'll do those 3 pieces. Well, let's see. We might can get one more out of there. I think we, well, can we? I'm not going to do it right now. But we'll just cut this out. Now, I have found, this is weird, this is me, I know this is just me, it's easier for me to cut, when I can see the tape from the front side, it's easier for me to cut it out from the front side than it is the back side. I don't really know why that is, but it's just easier for me to do it that way. See this? You can just glide it right along, really. Okay, so there's that. And then you just cut this one out. You cut each one out, and you've got you some little circles. So get any tissue. Keep your gift, you know, when you get a gift, keep that tissue and use it. Sometimes when you get shoes, you get some very cool tissue that you don't normally see, and it's all free. So be sure to use that. So that is my washi from toilet paper tissue packaging. I love it. So there's that. I won't cut out the rest of those. But then this, look at this. Look at this. Is this not wonderful? I love this. And but I myself, I probably wouldn't use it as this one, as a, you know, as a decoupage piece. I don't know. I just don't see myself using it. But I think it would make great washi. And do I want to do it only a quarter, you know, half inch? Let's look, so we can kind of tell with a ruler what a ½ inch will show me. So it'll be about this, which is fun. Let's try one. And I hit the camera, sorry. Let's try one and see how that works. I hope you're all doing well today. I am doing well. I have my water on hand, so maybe I won't have to clear my throat and take a sip of water instead. I'm doing pretty good so far. If you watch very many of my videos, you will know that I clear my throat a lot. Or at least to me, it seems like a lot, and it's kind of annoying. Now, I want to get right on the edge. Just pretty easy to do. Just follow along. I'm going to go this whole width, or length, or whatever you want to call it, and get right on the edge, and then tear it off. And let's see how that looks. I think it's going to look good. And let's cut this piece off. There I go. Cleared my throat. I shouldn't have said anything. Okay, here we go. I'm liking it. It's going to be cute. It is going to be cute. And see, this is a nice long one. This came in a gift, so this didn't cost me anything except the tape, which I've had for years now because I hardly ever use it anymore. I used it a lot when I was doing mini albums, but I don't use it so much anymore. Okay, so then I'm just gonna give it a burnish, make sure it's stuck good. Run it through my fingers so I can make it uncurl. And this is what this looks like. I love it. See how fun? That's really fun. Now I'm going to do one more. Not this one, but I'm going to do one more tissue because I think this tissue will be fun. Now, ideally, I would not have one that was scalloped, but it is what it is. So I'll just do it. I'll just do it. I also don't think I want it to be wider either. I probably wouldn't use it wide, but we'll use that as a weight. Okay, so I'm going to go just past the edge of the scallops on this one. And stick my tape down. I don't really care if it wrinkles. It's okay. Tear that off. And see, that's going to be some cool tape right there. This would be great to use for a Christmas journal. So let's cut this off and see what this one looks like. This just came to me. You know how when you can't sleep in the middle of the night? That happens to me sometimes. And this just came to me because, you know, our brains don't ever stop. Women's brains don't ever stop. And this came to me when I couldn't sleep. And I'm sure somebody must have done this before, but I haven't seen it if they have. But I'm sure they have because it's not really a novel idea. But speaking about the women's brain, I have to tell you, I saw a documentary on men and women's brains. It was amazing. And it said that women's brains work more asleep than men's brains do awake. Because we're always, you know, we're the multitaskers. We have something going on all the time. Guys aren't multitaskers, really. They have compartments. I've learned they have compartments, and my husband and I call them boxes. So he has a nothing box, he has a work box, a chore box, a shopping box. So whatever they're doing, they go to that box, and then they can't do anything else until they leave that box to go to another box. It's hilarious. Okay, this is great. Wouldn't this be a great? This would be a great Christmas washi. And see, when you peel it off, the tape is just right on there. So let's see. Let me add a little bit to something. Oh, I know. Here. What can I add it to? I should have been more prepared. Well, we can add some to this. I like the sparkle. See, you can just add a piece. I don't know. That's not what I want to add it I don't know what to add it to, but anyway, it would look good on most anything. But it's going to be as transparent as the piece of paper you put on top of the tape. But see, it just peels right off, and then you can just use it as a washi. I love it. And this is a good one. This is a really good one. So I think close all over patterns, whether it's your napkin, your tissue, or whatever, is going to be the best choice for doing tissue and napkin and wrapping tissue. So that's wrapping tissue. This is wrapping tissue, but it is one, I'll show it to you, and I'm not going to do any more of these right now, but these are from this one right here, and it is scattered, so it's not going to look good to do a strip because it's going to have too much space in between. So I took tape, and on these slimmer ones, this tape is as wide as the floral. So I just did a piece of tape that was as long as that and just centered over it and then cut it out. So I got these pieces that I then can add to something. As we can add this. See if I can get this off. Yes, see, pulls right off. There it is. I'm going to add it to this right there. Since we had sort of a gardening something going on here, and burnish it down. And there you have it. There you have it. Look at that. Isn't that great? Then let's do another one. I'm going to do it up here. No, let's do one up here. This is a wider one. So what I did with the wide, from leaf to leaf, it's wider than the 1/2 inch. So what I did, it's as tall as this is wide. So I just pulled off a piece that would be enough to cover it this way. So this is the height or the width of this tape, and I just pulled off a length that's as wide as this. So let's see how that does. And let's just pull that off. You see? Tape on the back. I'm going to stick it right up here. Just like that. Now this is a little bit of a waxy tissue, so it might have had, I don't know. So it's making the what it's on top of a little bit more faded, but I'm okay with that because that makes that pop out a little bit. So see how that looks? That looks great. I love it. So how easy is that? Just to add a little embellishment to a page, a tag, a journaling spot, or whatever. Now, so we have tissue washi. This is all tissue washi. We have scrap washies, and we have napkin washies. All of those are from Napkins. Oh, one more. This one's from Napkin as well. And this one is from Napkin as well. So let me slide these over. So we have tissue, wrapping paper tissue, package wrapping tissue. We have scraps. And we have tissue, various different napkins. Oh, this is tissue. This goes over here. Sorry. That's tissue. Okay. So we have napkins. These are all napkins. These are made from paper scraps, and these are made from wrapping tissue. And this one is tissue, but it is from a toilet paper roll. So that is my thoughts for the day. I hope you got something out of this, and then if nothing else, it made you think a little bit outside the box of things that you already have and can use. And I appreciate you coming along, and I hope you will join me in the next video when I have something else to share. Appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye.